Okay, I am back with my first ever Little Golden Book junk journal that I made for Scylla. And by the time this video airs, she will have received it. And all I can say is I hope she loves it half as much as I loved making it. I had so much fun making this journal. And it was my first attempt, and I think I was pretty successful at it. I had no plans. I just used what I had and kind of made stuff with what I had and made the items that I had work for the book. And so I think that was the fun part of it because you had to get creative. So let's do a flip through. So I did put pattern paper on the inside of the cover because it was kind of dull. And here is an envelope that I put some goodies in. And, you know, she can use these on pages or keep them in the envelope. So, you know, or she can put something else in the envelope. It's just kind of like additional decoration and ephemera. Now what I did on this envelope, because it was small, I did add a piece of pattern paper here to the end of it so I could punch holes in it, because if I had punched the holes up in here, I wouldn't have been able to get as much in the envelope. And I think I showed this before, which was a thing that some directions came in. It almost looks like it would hold a CD. So in it, I just put a piece of 6x6 pattern paper with a little label on it. And this is from the book. And then for the map page, I tried to be thoughtful about some of the things that I did because she used to live in Alabama, so I put a map page of Alabama, and somewhere on here I made sure, which I can't remember exactly where it was at, somewhere over in here is the town that she used to live in. And then this came out of a typing book, this page, and so I made a little pocket page out of it and just added some extra goodies. She could add a photo on here, or she could actually even cut these apart for little letters. And then here's just a little journal spot. And now that she lives in New York, the state of New York, I have this little map of Central Park. And this is the back side. Now, I'd had a book, and it was very old. I'm going to show you if I can find it, because I have the biggest crafter mat you've ever seen in your life. This book is old, and it ended up being very fragile, so much so that these pages are just, they're brittle, and I tried to use them and I couldn't. I mean, it just comes apart. So I tried to use a few of the stamps I cut out and glue down. So that's one of them, and this was just a sticker frame. So here's like a little pocket card, and in it I put a couple of things like a little book, library book. And then I cut this out of one of the pages, and then there's some of the words of the story. And then on the back side, I just added this little label. So here is another envelope that I put some of the book page on, added a little banner, and then the other side was already printed in blue, and I just added several little cards in there. And this I printed from the Graphics Fairy. And let me spread it out a little bit. The Graphics, oh, because the holes are in the way. The Graphics Fairy, and I use cardstock paper, so it's pretty sturdy. Just added a little die cut and a label. And here I made a pocket card, added a label here, and then just tucked a couple of cards in here. Then on the back side is the other side of the 6x6 pattern paper. And this I had actually gotten in my Paper Issues Warehouse box sale, so I added that. And I just glued around the edge of it and made a little pocket. And here's just a little flash card I added some enamel dots to. And then here is another pocket page that I made. And I just dropped something. I cut a mail bag out of the book. And then here's just another card that you could put a photo on, or you could actually cut it apart and use it for embellishments. And then this is just a little fold out for journaling or whatever. I tried to leave, you know, blank space in there so she could do what she wanted. Oh, I punched a hole and added a little tag. Here's another little card about the Statue of Liberty, because that's in New York. And then I made this little pocket. And then I made this little fold out. Added a few little embellishments on each side. Stapled a ticket there. Added a little tuck spot there, so that can slide in and out. Here is one of the book pages. Now, for some of these pages that were thin, I punched out with my hole reinforcer punch. I think this is by We Are Memory Keepers, just to give it a little bit of extra sturdiness. Oh, and here is the record. I was able to use those kitchen scissors and cut it in half, and I filed it. I mean, not filed it. Used some sandpaper on the edge to get rid of the roughness. And then I just embellished it, and I left the little postman showing. And then on the other side, I made a little pocket with some tuck spots, with a tuck spot, and added some more little goodies in there. This is all from that Tim Holtz line, most of this pattern paper. And then here's the back side, and I just added a little flap. This came out of a typing book because it had letters and writing a letter, I thought, and it was blue, so I thought it would be awesome to put in there. And this came out of that Post Secrets book. And then here is another piece of pattern paper that I ran across. This is not from the Tim Holtz, but I added a little flap here. And I just put this here for some more color to, you know, brighten up some of that brown. And then here's the B side, and this is a piece of chipboard from Vicki Boutin. And then here's a piece of pattern paper that I cut, and I used the other typewriter that I got in the Paper Issues box. This is a game card that I just tucked in there, and I thought I had something else tucked in there. I did, but it probably came out. It was something really small. And then here is just some white space. Okay, right here is a reading record card, and this, I covered it up. This paper clip and this Jen Hadfield is going to come off because this is from a envelope where Scylla had sent me a card, and I kept it so I'd have her handwriting, her return address, and the, you know, the postmark from the post office. So this is going to come off when I'm done filming. And here's the back side. And here's another of the 6x6 papers. I think I cut it down, or maybe I didn't. No, one of them I cut down. Oh, I cut down to put in that envelope. Added a little ticket here, And then just left this side alone. This came out of the Post Secrets book. And there's the back side of the page. And I thought it was cool because there were some envelopes or postcards there. And then out of a piece of that I had trimmed off another page, I just made this, added a ticket, and made a banner, added a tab, and then left this side alone. And then here's another 6x6 paper where I added this embellishment and threaded the ribbon through it. Added this paper clip to kind of help hold it in place and cover up some of the glue, because I don't know how it would dry, because as it was wet you could see it, you know, it discolored the ribbon a darker color. So I just added that paper clip, and then on the B side tucked a couple of little embellishments here. This came out of the Post Secrets book. And on the B side, I didn't like what was on the B side. It didn't really go with the junk journal, so I just took a page out of the book, the Golden Book, and put it on the B side. And then here's just a little piece of pattern paper with an embellishment and a really, really old Heidi Swapp tab, clear tab. And the glue, you can see it's a little discolored, but it's in a junk journal, so that doesn't matter. And I took another piece of paper, you'll see here in a little bit, and edged that. This also came out of the Post Secrets book, and it flips open to this vibrant blue. And then this also came out of that typing book, and I just took a glittery border frame and added it here to the edge because I wanted to leave this perforation here. And I don't know if you can hear my goats. It's feeding time. So if you hear a strange noise in the background, that's our goats. They're saying hello. And here's just another little border. And I didn't, oh, I do need to glue that down a little bit. I didn't glue it down because I like the look of the looseness, but I didn't want it that loose. Let me get this side. And then here I made a little book that I was initially going to tuck somewhere, but then I thought, well, I could punch holes in it. It was tall enough that I just took some pattern paper, and this was out of a French book that had stamps on it, and then a map. See, I put Canada on there because her husband is from Canada. There's Ontario. There's the other side of that book. And then that's one thing I did upside down, but makes it more original. I tried to flip it around, but the holes didn't line up correctly because, you know, the holes aren't perfectly spaced. So, and then on the back, I just used some washi and put a piece of pattern paper because it was just kind of plain up against this. And then here is another piece of pattern paper, and I believe I took a piece of packaging that some type of embellishment came in, and I covered it in pattern paper. And here's that real fragile paper again, so I just made sure I glued it down. Added a little flip card. And then on the back side, yeah, see, this is a piece of packaging because here is the original packaging material. So I added some reinforcements for a little bit of color, and I had this little pocket. So I put a couple of goodies in here. And of course, can't get them back in right. And this is where I used a piece, I told you, a piece out of a book, because this was from that New Yorker book. And so I added reinforcements on there. Here's another little envelope that was small, and you can see I did the same thing. I added a piece of paper and punched holes so I could use the full pocket space and put some cards in there. And then here's just a 6x6 where I took another 6x6 and cut it on a diagonal and made a little tuck spot and put some more little embellishments in here. Just a piece of cardstock that you could put a photo on or some other paper on and journal. And then I left this side plain because I just thought this was very cute. And there's another page out of the book. And then the very last, this is the back page. I covered it with a piece of cardstock. Added another piece of cardstock because I just love this blue floral. And I did not make this envelope. I got it in some Happy Mail. And it's made out of a book page. And I just tucked some extra little embellishments in here, and I got 2 of these, so I kept one and I shared one. And oh, see, they're sliding around, but there's some little goodies in there, some extra embellishments. And then there is the back of my book. So that is it. That is my first little golden book that I made, and I had a blast making it. And I would love to do some more, and I will plan on it. But it had haven't been scrapbooking because when I had a chance to craft, I have been working on this. But this was so much fun. Another thing I thought about doing was adding some ribbon, but I didn't know how she was going to store it or where she was going to store it, so I didn't want to interfere with adding bulk to the outside. But if she wants to add some trimmings to it, she can, because I didn't know if she was going to put it on a shelf or, you know, how she was going to store it. So I didn't want to put anything on there that might get crunched up. So that is it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.